Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Today we're going to talk about bank closings. Now I'm going to start with a disclaimer. As you know, I don't do this very often, but this is some important stuff. So the disclaimer is, do not make financial decisions based upon this broadcast, period. This is a program on Bible prophecy. We do not give financial advice. Information given here is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to ask every one of you to call a number. 877-472-2249. Grab your cell phone, grab a piece of paper and a pencil or something. You're going to want to write this number down. I'll tell you why. You're going to be calling HSBC, which is the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. This is their phone number, and they have put out a message that maybe on the outside, maybe it's just a benign message, and maybe it means no more than what HSBC is saying. But in light of a Bible prophecy and the other prophecies, we think it might be saying more. Again, the number is 877-472-2249. I recommend you call and you listen to the message. I'm about to play it. I recorded it, but I recommend you need to call it. You need to verify that what I'm telling you is, in fact, the truth. I don't want to be one who yells wolf when there's no wolf. On the other hand, I'm a watchman, and those people listening, you're probably a watchman also, and you know that if we can blow a trumpet and warn someone, we will. So let me first of all start with the recorded message, but again, I recommend you call 877-472-2249 and verify it so you know for certain that this is the message and that it is coming from HSBC.
Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our systems during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Here it is again.
Welcome to HSBC Business Banking. Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our systems during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Then I had a dream, December 5th, 1999, that I was walking under a large bank. The bank covered about 1 square city block, and I was walking on dirt. Looking up, I'd see the bottom of the first floor about 15 feet above me. I noticed the foundation of the bank was made of red brick, the same kind of red brick used to build houses. I realized this brick would never hold the weight of the large bank. I noticed that the foundation was only 1 brick thick and had large holes in the foundations about every 10 to 20 feet. Right in front of me, about 5 steps away, was a hole in the foundation so large that I could get on my knees and just crawl out. I thought, wow, this is dangerous. This bank could collapse and follow me at any minute. I looked at this weak foundation and thought there was no way this foundation could hold the weight of this big bank on a good day, especially in an earthquake. I started to walk the 5 steps to the hole in front of me and get down on my knees and crawl out. Then I noticed about 25 steps away there was a large hole, so I decided to just walk out the large hole. I chose the easy way out and began to walk out towards the larger hole. All of a sudden, the bank began to shake. The bank fell down about halfway to the floor. What was then 15 feet up was now less than 7 foot. Instantly, I was surrounded by a mass of terrified, screaming people running in all directions. No place to go. It was panic. They were running into me, blocking my way to the easy opening seconds earlier that I could have had an easy escape route. I couldn't even see the escape hole anymore. I looked for the hole 5 steps away. I couldn't see that either. In the panic, I was lost. I was just as lost and just as much in panic as everyone else. I ran to the far side of the bank, found a large hole, and got out from under the bank. I knew that I had to get several blocks away because the building was falling. I didn't want it to fall on me. And I saw a chain-link fence about 25 feet away, approximately 15 foot tall, topped with razor wire, surrounded the entire bank. About half a city block away, I saw a security guard on a guard tower firing with a machine gun, killing the people, telling them to get back away from the fence. He was trying to keep people in the banking system. I saw an old pickup truck parked next to the fence. I waited for the security guard to turn his head. I ran, put one foot on the back of the pickup, one foot on the top of the truck, and jumped with all my might, and I escaped over the wire. But I escaped a very narrow escape. Could it be that what you just heard is indirectly, maybe it's just a little computer glitch, maybe they're just switching computers, or maybe this prophesied financial collapse has arrived? March 3rd, 2012, prophet Maurice Sklar. Then the Lord said, America is being eaten from within. Its days are numbered. There are three parts of this financial collapse. The first crack in the foundation happened in September 2008. The collapse of the walls is the second drop in the dollar soon to come. The dollar will lose 30% more of its value. The dollar will lose 30% more of its value. The dollar will lose 30% more of its value. Then the whole financial system will crumble and all of America's wealth will be devoured. But during this terrible time, I will visit America again. A third great awakening will come, but the days of America's glory and beauty will never be seen again. My judgment will come swiftly upon all those that have turned their backs to me. Shane Warren, October 2012, prophesied the dollar will be worthless. The devaluing of the dollar caused major rioting in the streets, looting with signs saying, I want my entitlements. He said he also heard the audible voice of God say that silver will skyrocket and rise far more than gold. And God is going to prosper greatly many that is going to be acquiring a transfer of wealth coming into the hands of the believers, whatever that is. Doug Metzger. In my dream, I was calculating the inflation rate of the dollar. It was 10 to 1 plus a little. The meaning was if something cost $1 today, it was soon to cost $10.50 the very next day. The dollar became worthless. I saw a beautiful, wealthy woman who never knew want, just giving sex for a meal. I heard the Lord say, desperation and starvation is coming. Pastor Massey said that he had a dream that the banks will close on a Friday and you'll have 72 hours to get out of the city or risk arrest. Now, I personally don't think that that is coming at this time. Also, it was reported that a Secret Service agent protecting the Speaker of the House spoke to a hotel worker, and it happened to come back to me. And he said, there's not going to be an economic collapse. There's going to be an economic catastrophe. Augusto Perez, the word of the Lord said to me 3 times, they have planned a super devaluation to bury the dollar. There will be a super devaluation of the dollar. There will be a super devaluation of the dollar. There will be a super devaluation of the dollar, brought about to kill it as the national currency and replace it with a new national currency, or a new world currency. When this happens, it will cause mass panic and confusion, not only in the United States, but also in countries abroad.
Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our systems during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Terry Bennett said, there will be a change in the U.S. currency. There will be a change in the U.S. currency. There will be a change in the U.S. currency. A different currency is going to come that will entail the dollar no longer being the reserve currency of the world. We will go through a dramatic change in our government. There will be a time of anarchy and chaos. For a while, we'll have a fractional government, which means basically our government will come down to the state level because the military is stepping in and having to seize control of our federal government. You'd call it a coup, but in all honesty, it will be to help our nation. That is why the military will step in. Lawlessness and chaos was shown to me, and civil unrest. We are facing two great events, the greatest time of horror the world has ever seen, matched by the greatest revelation of God's love mankind has ever witnessed. A revival the likes the world has never seen. That's said by Doug Metzger. The United States of America is about to swing into a new season. At first it would be a prosperous time, but it would be short-lived. Patricia Green. Then Prophet Leslie Johnson, my wife, June 22 of '06, had a dream. And we never have understood exactly when this dream is supposed to come to pass. But I want you to notice the date is July the 4th, 2008. That's what she saw on the calendar. However, as she said, she didn't think anything's going to happen on that date. But as I go through this, ask yourself, what if there's a digit changed? What if it's 2004 to 2018 instead of 2004 28? As in 2008, it's 2018. That's the question. Let's read the dream. Leslie said, I dreamt you, Stan, and I went to a restaurant and asked for something to eat and something to drink. The lady said, well, it's a good thing you're here today because today we could give you something to eat and drink. But if you'd have been here yesterday, we'd have had nothing to give you. Leslie looked over the wall and saw a calendar with a date circled in red. The date was July 4th, 2008. She does not believe anything will happen on that date, and it didn't. The point is, both of us had a dream at the same time. Both had a dream having to do with a financial collapse, and 25 months later, it happened. Question is, was Leslie's dream of July the 4th, 2008 maybe talking about July the 4th, 2018? Then July 25th of 2010, she had another dream. And she says, in my dream, Stan and I were watching a mudslide. And she knew this to be a financial collapse. A mudslide, a financial collapse in progress. Some houses, the houses representing the people's finances, some houses had already fallen. And we began going from house to house shouting, you're on the edge. You're on the edge. If you don't want to fall in the mudslide, you have to balance your house. You have to stop standing on the edge and hanging over. Only a few houses remained standing, meaning only a few people's finances remained standing. Then the scene changed. We were on a boat floating in the mud. There were already fish, or souls, everywhere in our boat. Suddenly, fish from all directions began jumping into the mud. In other words, new conversions, people jumping out of the mud of the sin of the world into the boat of Jesus, okay? Suddenly, fish from all directions began jumping out of the mud and into our boat. Among them were several very large fish, as in those that had been previously wealthy were now in poverty. I was holding a huge, unusual-looking fish, which had no scales. It looked like a skinned cat. Stan asked, what is that? I replied, it's a fish, as if you can't see. Stan inquired, well, why is it so strange looking? I've never seen a fish like that before. I answered and said, this fish looks like a chicken with the skin peeled off. See, they have nothing to protect them now. They're jumping into the boat of salvation when their financial houses fell in the mudslide. Souls who lost all their financial house now are beginning to turn to Jesus, jumping into the boat of salvation with Jesus. Pastor Massey, 2017 will be prosperous, celebration, and great happiness. Then the U.S. military will come in to help Trump to have to take control of the public. The public will go out of order. Then remember this, May 27th of 2016. The night before, in my prayer closet, I'd said, Lord, thank you so much for giving us all of these prophecies of the future, but they're kind of a bug's eye view, and sometimes I can't link them together, what comes next. Would you mind giving us an overview of what is coming? And I'd like for you to speak to either my wife, Leslie, or to Pastor Massey. The very next morning, Pastor Massey calls me, says, I had a dream last night, and I don't understand it. I said, well, tell me the dream. And as he began telling me the dream, I said, I know exactly what this is saying because this is answering my prayer of the night before. So here was the dream. Again, May 28, 2016. First part, he said, I saw a scene of good times. We were plowing. Very nice things were happening, good things, like 7 years of plenty. Then the scene changed to Christians feeding others. We came home. Someone dropped off 2 children at my house. One girl thought that we were the best to take care of these people, as they were scared they would have no food. There was no food where they were living. The third scene was you have to have a gun to survive and be safe. So I was sitting there and someone came to my home and hurt these children, or to hurt the children. They said, let me talk to you. And I said, before I talk to you, let me get my gun, because I don't want to talk to you without my gun. So I went and got my gun. I loaded it with 3 cartridges and went and talked with them. The fourth scene was American Christian refugees. He says, I was in a house next to a main road, and I saw like a herd of people walking down this road. Just so many people walking down like a herd of cows or sheep on the road, and it was packed. They were close together like sardines. Then the final picture was the tribulation. I saw that they had begun to get chopped up, just chopped up, like only a few of them, like only maybe 1 or 2 out of 1,000 were spared. I saw a chopper, like some kind of a chopping machine, chopping off their heads. And I thought, well, this must be the end time. This must be the tribulation. And only a few were spared. And we went into hiding. Now, let me summarize that. So it's good times now. Christians feeding others, meaning a time of great difficulty. Third is you have to have a gun to be safe. Christian refugees, as in like America got bombed off the map, leaving people walking out of America, and then the tribulation. Now, let me say again, I can't and I won't give you any advice, but I will tell you what I think I'm probably going to do, because I can't give you advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But I'm going to take all excess money out of the bank, and I am going to put it into silver coins. Now, in my case, since I don't even have a savings account, that's practically nothing. But what little I have, I'm going to try to save. Because, I mean, what if? Okay, let's just talk the what if for a minute. What if the dollar were to be devalued? We've had, 2 or 3 people, their prophet says it's going to be devalued. Let's say, one of them, I think, said it was going to be devalued 30%, and another one said 50%. Well, let's take 30%. What if the dollar value was devalued by 30%? And what if this message we just heard is talking about, maybe it's just a simple computer reset from the 8th to the 11th of June? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something bigger, okay? But as a watchman, we want to know. So what if it is something bigger? Let's take the what is. Let's take the negative here, okay? So if it's something bigger, let's say it is a 30% devaluation, like the prophet said here. Say the dollar devalues 30%, and you have, say, $100,000 your granddad gave you or whatever, and you don't want to lose that. Well, see, that's the reason I was thinking whatever little excess I have, put into silver coin. Why silver? Well, the prophet said that silver is going to skyrocket more than gold. Okay, well, silver, gold. Okay, if I got the guy that's saying silver's better, then, I would probably go with silver. And I'm going to make sure that I have enough cash on hand to buy gas and groceries for probably a couple of weeks, because you heard him say it's going to be from June 8 to 11, right? Here, let me play that again. Listen carefully. And again, you can go to that 800 number, write it down again, go listen to it. 877-472-2249. 877-472-2249. You need to hear for yourself. I didn't cook it up. I didn't create this and put it on the air. You can go to that website and you can hear it too. Here, let's listen to it again.
Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our systems during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Okay, so let's assume the dollar were to devalue by whatever percentage. And let's say that this is not just a simple computer reset, but this is something more. Then it might be a good idea if you did have some extra cash and maybe some groceries, and maybe even if you did have a large amount of money, you took it out and you put it into something safe, gold, silver, or something safe, okay? Okay, so nothing happens. Fine, you eat the groceries, you drink the water, and you put the money back in the account. Okay? Something does happen, then you're going to be real happy. Real happy you listen to the Prophecy Club. 2 Chronicles 20:20 says, believe God's prophets, and so shall you prosper. And in my case, let me go back to that dream. And I had this dream December the 5th of 1999. And matter of fact, since I have the time, I'll tell you the story behind it. So Bob Griffin was coming in to speak that Sunday morning at our church. And on the way, I picked him up and I said, and he was going to talk on dreams and visions. I said, I don't even know that I've ever had maybe more than 1 or 2 dreams or visions from God. He said, we'll change that. He said, we'll get to the church. I'll lay hands on you. I'll pray for you. And he said, you'll start having dreams and visions. Well, we got to church. He laid hands on me, and he said, and so that you know that you have been given the gift of dreams and visions, you will have a dream tonight. This was the dream. Now, let me point out the part of the dream that I think it's important, and I'll tell you, I just got on my knees to fulfill this. I started to walk the steps to the hole in front of me and get down on my knees and crawl out. Then I noticed about 25 steps away, there was another hole so large I could just walk out without getting on my knees. I chose to take the easy way out and begin to walk towards the larger hole. The point was, I had to get on my knees in order to know the right way to go. Well, I just went into my prayer closet just before making this program again and got on my knees again and said, Lord, I'm asking you. I'm believing that this is a word from you, through you, to me, from December 5th, 1999 to right now today, and here I am, I'm on my knees, and I'm asking you to show me a way to get out from under this banking system so that I will not also be in a panic like everyone else is in a panic. So, brothers and sisters, that's the best thing for you to do. Get on your knees and ask God to show you what you need to do so that you are not part of the panic. So let me summarize this then. 877-472-2249, and you will hear this.
Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our systems during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Now, that may be exactly what it says it is. Maybe it's just simply a computer upgrade. Maybe it's not. Now, let's go back and review what some of the prophecies are. Again, Janice said that soon after the dollar devalued, the price to renovate her home increased from $100,000 to $200,000 to $1 million because the dollar had dropped in value. Everything costs more. I saw people in panic. Then I was given the dream. All of a sudden, the bank began to shake. The bank fell about halfway to the floor. What was 15 feet to the ceiling now was less than 7 foot. Instantly, I was surrounded by a mass of terrified, screaming people running in all directions. No place to go. Total panic. Then Maurice Sklar was shown that America has been eaten from within. Its days are numbered. There are 3 parts to this financial collapse. The first crack in the foundation happened September 2008. The collapse of the walls and the second drop in the dollar will soon come. The dollar will lose 30% more of its value. The whole financial system will crumble and all of financial's wealth will be devoured. But during this terrible time, I will visit America again. A third great awakening will come. Shane Warren said that the dollar will be worthless. The devaluing of the dollar caused major rioting in the streets, looting with signs saying, I want my entitlements. Doug Metzger was shown in a dream I was calculating the inflation rate of the dollar. It was 10 to 1 plus a little. The meaning was if something yesterday cost $1, today it's $10.50. The dollar became worthless. I saw a beautiful, wealthy woman who never knew want, giving sex just for a meal. I heard the Lord say, desperation and starvation is coming. Pastor Massey was shown a dream that the banks will close on a Friday, and you have 72 hours to get out of the city or risk arrest. Again, I do not believe that is this particular fulfillment. Augusto Perez, the word of the Lord said to me 3 times, they have planned a super devaluation to bury the dollar. There will be a super devaluation of the dollar brought about to kill it as the national currency and replace it with a new national currency or a new world currency. When this happens, it will cause mass panic and confusion, not only in the U.S., but also around the world. Terry Bennett, there will be a change in the U.S. currency. A different currency is going to come. We will go through a dramatic change in our government. There will be a time of anarchy and chaos, and for a while there will be a fractional government. Skipping on to the next one. Leslie was shown a mudslide dream. Stan and I were watching a mudslide or a financial collapse in progress. Some houses had already fallen. We were going from house to house shouting, you're on the edge. If you don't want to fall into the mudslide, you have to balance your house. You have to stop standing on the edge and hanging over. Only a few houses remained standing. The scene changed. We were floating in a boat. Fish were jumping out of this mud all directions up into our boat, meaning people were coming out of the world of sin and getting into the boat representing Jesus. They were all getting saved by the masses. Then Pastor Massey was shown that 2017 will be a prosperous celebration and great happiness, but then the U.S. military will have to come in and help Trump to take control of the public. The public will go out of order. May 28th of 2016, Pastor Massey was given a dream at my request to the Lord the night before, and the summary points are that there's going to be good times, Christians feeding others, you'll have to have a gun to survive, American Christian refugees, the tribulation, and then my final word is I can't give you any advice, but I will simply say, brothers and sisters, I'm going to make certain that if the banks are closed for 2 weeks or even 4 weeks, that me and my family and our ministry is going to have the food and water, the gasoline, whatever it needs. Remember, I am a watchman. I bring this information to you as a warning. I cannot guarantee that any of this is going to happen. Maybe we go through the weekend and everything is fine. And I'm not saying anything about the fine organization of HSBC. May they be blessed. Bless the watchmen that are listening to this broadcast. Bless them. Let them hear your voice. Be a lamp unto their feet and a light unto their path. Be that voice behind them, speaking and saying, this is the way, walk in. Give them guidance and direction. Show them what they must do to be saved in the kingdom and saved also on earth. Show them the path you've set before them. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. The Extreme Summer Blowout is now in effect. You could get 50 DVDs for $250. That's $5 each. 25 for $160, that's $6.40 each. 15 for $120, that's $8 each. 10 for $100, obviously $10 each. 6 for $70, 4 for $50, and 2 for $30. You can go to prophecyclub.com. There's a list of all the DVDs there, or you can call us and ask for the summer catalog, or download the catalog at prophecyclub.com. Flip through it, then decide which DVDs you want. That's 785-266-1112, and it expires soon. Call 785-266-1112 today. Some restrictions apply. Dr. Bree Keaton just made a brand new DVD. It's called Is Trump or Patrick Henry? Now, it's not a political talk. Bree's mother was a descendant of the patriot Patrick Henry. She reveals shocking, never released private family records, bloodlines, and gives you the true story of how God used Patrick Henry to save America. She helped me to see more clearly where we are and where we're going because most of history has already repeated itself. I promise you will like this DVD. Is Trump our Patrick Henry? prophecyclub.com.